everyone. I hope you are having a slow start to your Sunday. It is a gloomy start to the day. I'm just going to pull you up here on our Facebook page as we get started. If you tuned in yesterday or this morning, you know that we have the chance for some storms tonight that could be packing a punch at us as we go throughout the evening. So I wanted to go ahead and give you a breakdown of where we sit currently with that line of storms that's expected tonight, timing, when it might be marching, up to your doorstep, and a look at what those threats are as far as the severe weather threats. So of course this morning it's been fairly gray and gloomy, as I mentioned. We've had some low-level clouds, some reduced visibility down to about 3-4 miles, and we've of course had some fairly widespread showers. Now temperatures currently are still fairly warm in the upper 50s to low 60s. A look at satellite and radar here. I'll go ahead and zoom this in for us first, and we'll clear these out. You can see that the rain has been widespread all morning, but most of it has been fairly light. I'll go ahead and pause it. Currently, we've got showers just west of I-71 stretching through Mansfield up to Cleveland, and then, of course, our eastern half of the viewing area pretty soggy as well, with a few breaks here and there. A little drier as you head towards Bellevue and Sandusky and Fremont. And then if we zoom back out here, we'll show you the kind of big picture of what's going on. It's still that low pressure that was hanging out in the plains yesterday that's bringing the active weather today. So where we sit is between the warm front and the cold front. So the warm front lifted through. That's what gave us that push into the 70s yesterday, and it will help keep us in the 60s today. The cold front off to the southwest is the line of storms that will bring the potential for strong weather tonight and then eventually cool air tomorrow. So today, mid-60s, we'll have a nice break in the showers and storms this afternoon. Here's a look at kind of the timing of that. I would say from about 1 to 5 p.m. is when, if you want to go outside, go for a walk. It'll be breezy, but it'll be mild temperature-wise and mostly dry. And then the breakdown of the storms tonight. So we're looking at this window of about 6 p.m. to midnight. Your biggest trouble is probably going to be the strong wind potential. We could see gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour. So you're talking power outages potentially, some downed tree branches, maybe some downed limbs, given that our ground is a little soggy right now from the rain that we got over the last 12 hours. You might see a small tree down or two. But all threats are possible with these storms tonight. Couple of things with these storms though. They are a little conditional, meaning if we stay more gray and dreary and cool and showery all through the afternoon, and that break in the rain doesn't really last super long, and if we don't get a lot of sunshine, it would help our case. We would see less of a threat for severe storms tonight. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the hour by hour. The reason for that is because you need a lot of juice to fire off storms, especially severe storms. And if you don't get all those ingredients put together and, firing off, then your storms might be just general run-of-the-mill garden variety thunderstorms. But as it stands, we have enhanced our risk for severe weather. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. There's that break I mentioned from about 1 to 5 o'clock. This line of storms is going to push in from the west. So if you live in Ravenna, Warren, your window of storms is not from 6 to 12. That is from west to east. So at about 7 o'clock, and give or take an hour or so on the timing with this, we'll begin to see that line of storms cross over I-75 and into our far western counties. So Fremont, Port Clinton, Tiffin, it'll be approaching the Bellevue area at that point. Then at about 9-10 o'clock, it starts to approach the Cleveland area, Medina, Worcester, etc. Crossing over I-77 later on in the night and then heading into PA around midnight or thereafter. We could then see just a few general thunderstorms through early Monday morning, a few showers through early Monday morning, but that threat for strong storms really is kind of reserved to that specific line of storms moving through. So let's just go ahead and take a peek here at our severe weather outlook. We have an enhanced risk, which is a 3 on a scale of 5 for the western half of the viewing area. So kind of think 71 and west. A slight risk, which is a 2 on a scale of 5 for the eastern half of the viewing area. So 71 and east. The difference here is just there's a slightly better chance that those storms that fire off will be strong to severe west of 71. That's what the difference is there. It's just that the conditions in the atmosphere are a bit more favorable. So the SPC, the Severe Weather Prediction Center, bumped that up to enhanced. So that will all wrap up by the time you're heading to work tomorrow as far as any strong storm chance. You might still see a few showers, but then what will happen is our temperatures will begin to fall from the 60s today to the 50s tomorrow morning, and then by tomorrow afternoon, we will be sitting in the 40s. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop on the Facebook feed here, see if anybody has any questions about the forecast. It's pretty straightforward. Again, 6 to 12 west to east. It's not gonna be an all-night thing. The one thing I will say is, of course, you know, if the storms show up after dark, they're tougher to see coming, but it also hinders our chance for severe weather the later in the night it comes. We lose a little bit of that midday instability. That does not mean that, oh, if it hasn't stormed by 9 o'clock, that it's not going to, by any means. So what I would do if I was you, I would just download the Fox 8 weather app. It'll send alerts if you set the settings correctly. It'll send alerts to your phone if you have a severe thunderstorm in your town, in your neighborhood, because it uses location services. So that way you can kind of be prepared and not have to, you know, stare at the radar like we do all night long. But because of that, meteorologist James Parrish will be in tonight, and he's going to be tracking any storms that pop up, severe or not severe. So he will keep you guys up to date as well. So again, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. We will be back on air at 11 o'clock to 11:30, and I will see you then. I hope you stay dry and are able to maybe enjoy that brief dry break we get this afternoon. Talk to you later.